about these things that are going on.
Do we have players like that? I mean, I've never heard. I mean, D'Angelo
Yeah.
Russell had his. You think he'd be the guy? Not
He'd
like
be the
Darren.
guy,
I mean, Darren Williams
and-
was a
and
coach killer. Yeah, I'm still taking shots
He'd
at
be
you
the
for
guy,
saying that.
Yeah, no, he'd be the guy, and I can see, I could see a Booker or a DeMar Carroll calling him out on that. Again, we're thinking worst. We could win Friday, and this will all be avoided. But he could be that guy. Russell could be a spark in the good way or the bad way. He could definitely be the beginning of you make, especially if we're giving him the keys to the franchise.
Well, if anything's happening to Lin, then the ball's in his hands, and he'll be playing, more than 30 minutes. Because we're going to need him on the court. And, I mean, he dropped a quiet 30. I felt like that with the shots he was taking. I mean, he definitely room to continue to score more. He's going to put up some numbers this year. But I hope that the structure that Marks and Atkinson has in place will prevent that from happening. It seems like they bought in to whatever the culture life is like for the Brooklyn Nets, and you hope that they know what to expect and what to anticipate. I mean, they have to have an idea of who they are. I mean, I know you always hear athletes saying, "Oh, we expect to win every game." I mean, neither of us have ever played on a pro-level basketball team, let alone the NBA, but I know that they have the belief that they can win every game. But you would think management and coaching staff kind of understands where they're at based on how they're talking.
Right.
So, ain't going to be no Darren Williams coach killing going on. Hopefully Atkinson, maybe we're just making a big deal.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like that. Because that team was a little bit more. There was a little bit more pressure to be successful with that group. But what I mean by bad culture is just the season being over early. You want something to fight for. You want the players to feel like they do have a shot. When you lose 6-7, when you lose 6-7 games in a row, with losing, your leader in Lin, because I think he's going to be out a very long time. That's the culture I mean. At being going south and being sour. But I think we're gonna win Friday. I think Brooklyn's gonna be rocking, and I think we'll this will all be a overblown
flash in the pan.
Commentary on our part, right?
And that's another thing. I hope Net fans start turning out more for some of these bigger games. I hate being outnumbered by the Knicks fans, Celtics fans. I mean, now everyone's a Golden State fan, but I really hope Nets Nation turns out for home games and really gives this team a home court advantage of some kind. I mean, this is a fun game to watch. I mean, they are a fun and exciting team. It's going to be a track meet, watching people run up and down the court with the turnovers and the fast breaks. But Nets fans, if you can hear this podcast, and I hope you're listening and I hope you enjoy it, but turn out at the games.
Right.
Stop selling your tickets to these other fans. I remember when I had season tickets in Newark. I mean, I went to the Knicks games. I went to 2 of them, and we were outnumbered 2-1 by Knicks fans. Outnumbered 3-1 by Celtic fans. I mean, it's craziness. Let's go, Net fans.
Well, the big thing, to encourage Net fans is this is almost a rare time where we have a player who could be more popular. Like, I think Russell could be more popular than Porzingis. So you got that going. I think we're going to be a little bit better than them. We're almost on the same path of, we're both rebuilding. The younger generation can start to gravitate towards, our Brooklyn Nets. I think that we could start to cultivate, what we feel as fans following them from Jersey to Brooklyn. I think we need to get out there. The games happen, that Atlanta game where Darren Williams scored 35 points. That game was the atmosphere was ridiculous. That first Brooklyn versus Knicks game, those are the things that we need to, to try to get back to. Because right now the Knicks are going to be bad, so are we. But we could really, go for it in the sense of
making this
building
our
up
city.
a fan base.
All right, so
we're never going to make it our city, but
hey, one fan at a time, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
start with this
We
podcast.
crossed that bridge into Manhattan. Remember that Blueprint for Greatness sign Prokhorov put up with him and Hove? That flopped miserably. All right, so here's a hypothetical question for you. You're bringing an expansion team to New York, and you can pick between D'Angelo and the Unicorn. Who are you starting a franchise with?
I mean, I'm a Net fan, so I'm obviously going to go with Russell. I think he's going to be a better player. I think Porzingis, and I know you have Knicks fan friends, so they're not going to like to hear this. I think he's overrated. I think he's a good player. I think he had good moments, but I think you're really going to see him have good moments this year. But I think you're going to see him be a little exposed now without, all the onus on Carmelo. Carmelo was wrongfully just battered by the media for everything he did or didn't do. He would stay quiet and get killed. So, this market is tough, and I think Porzingis, you're going to start to see some holes in his game. But I would probably start with Russell. Plus, the game, like we talked about yesterday, the NBA game is tailored around young point guards, and I think he's going to be one of the better point guards in the NBA, hopefully in the next 5 years. But I can see it being a toss-up, 50-50. Who would you start with? I know you have a thing for shooting bigs that can,
Yeah, I definitely like the Unicorn, things. But again, I'm not sold on him being the number one on a team. I am sold on a guy like Russell being the number one option. He just makes it look easy. And again, if I'm building a team, I'm building it from the point guard out. I'm definitely starting with a guard because it's a guard-driven league nowadays. But the Unicorn is going to be really good, and he is really good already. But we'll see. I'm picking Russell as well. I'd pick a point guard any day of the week. Now, unless you're talking about the Greek Freak or something like that, maybe I might go in a different direction. But I definitely start with the guard play. Yeah. I mean, now you need good guard play in order to win. It's kind of like the college game when you get to March Madness. They always say, just look at the teams with the best backcourt, and those are the teams who probably have the best chance to win the national title. It's kind of the same way in the NBA. I mean, you go around.
Yeah.
It starts with Golden State, Houston. I mean, what are some of the other dominant backcourts? Toronto?
Portland.
So it definitely starts from there. And the 2 and the 3 now that they're kind of together, they're interchangeable. So I would definitely start with a point guard. I'm so happy that Russell's on the Brooklyn side and not the Manhattan side. But go ahead, go.
What I was going to say, I think you need a guard like that, or you need an absolute freak like the Greek Freak. Speaking of them, they just beat the Celtics 1-0. So the Celtics started off 0-2. But you either need someone like that, like a guard, or you need someone like him because he's going to be special. I think in the post LeBron era, he will be the best player in the league. He has a little Durant in him. He has, he's a 6'10" point guard that's long. He's ridiculous. So I think in the next shape of the NBA, you need that Anthony Davis. You're going to need that Antetokounmpo, however you say it.
What about Karl Anthony Towns, where you put him in the building a franchise player?
Yeah, he'd be in the top 5. A New Jersey native. He can ball. He's going to be great.
Well, speaking of the Greek Freak, started out tonight 37 points, shot 13 of 22 from the field, 13 rebounds, and I'm not sure how many assists because my internet now is no longer loading, but he's unbelievable. He really is.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking advantage of.
Do you buy into Milwaukee?
Not to take any credit away.
Do you buy into them as a team that can make some noise and move up the Eastern Conference ladder, or is it all on the Greek Freak shoulders?
No, I buy into them a lot. I think that I would love to see him in a series with LeBron. Now, I think that they can. Obviously, Cleveland will be heavily favored, but just to see how good that young kid is. He's a baller. So you want to see him in those moments. I think in the next few years, he's gonna go into his own, and so is Milwaukee. They're well coached. which I'm sure we'll get into one day. But
you still oh wow, it's hard to go against him. He helped
good.
ruin the team, and he bailed when he can get control. God, that
long episode, my man.
Yeah, well, now that you brought it up, let's talk about Jason Kidd, the coach. I mean, what was I never really understood why they didn't give him control.
If you remember, like I was gonna say, if you remember, we were okay with Kidd. I was definitely a fan of not giving him control because I liked what we were building. I thought that we were going to be, really good. I didn't know the ins and outs, but at the time we had Billy King. I didn't think that, from what I read, he tried to take over from underneath Billy King. But now in hindsight, he probably saw Billy King was a problem. Probably saw Billy King was looking to, he had for sale signs on all of our assets. Was just looking to get rid of every single asset we had. And, we were wrong. It's a move that I think still kind of. I mean, look, we have Atkinson, and I really like him, but it's one of those moves that just happened under Billy King that continued to just set our franchise back years.
A lot of that had to do with ownership too. I mean, I wonder, to be a fly on a wall and to hear what Jay Kidd's vision of the Brooklyn Nets would have been versus what we got from Prokhorov and company out in Russia.
Yeah,
the star chasing, and I mean, his 5-year plan to win a title backfired dramatically. I mean, see, we can't keep going backwards. We have to look forwards. But do you know how many draft picks we've given up? How many talented players we could have? We'd be better if we never made the trade for D. Will.
Well, no, I think I can make an excellent case why that was the right trade. But I don't know if you remember, a few months ago, me and you were texting back and forth about players that are stars now that were acquired by either picks or trades and we're arguing about, no, this is a worse move. No, this is the worst move we've ever, this player turned into Draymond Green. No, this is, Damian Lillard. So I don't even want to keep count. I just wish that we could just erase that from time, but unfortunately we can't.
Yeah, I know. One more year of the Boston trade and we move on. And Jaylen Brown, another Nets draft pick, Danny. Stephen A. Smith thinks he's coming. Thinks it's his time to shine. Stephen A. Smith is tweeting. He's drinking the Jaylen Brown Kool-Aid right now. I swear this is all done just to rub it in the face of Net fans when I read this stuff.
He's going to be good. Draymond Green is good. Damian Lillard is good. Who knows what this year's pick is going to be? If we're as bad as some people think it could be, the first overall pick.
Not again.
But again,
not again, please.
Kind of to speak to your original point. If I had to do it over again, going back to 2011, you have to make the Darren Williams trade. Now, all the other moves after that are terrible trades, but that trade wasn't the trade that set us back years. And I know you're going to disagree with me on that.
Oh, big time.
What else were we going to do? What else were we going to do? Just collect assets and be?
How about just draft
the Sixers?
Yeah.
We tried that.
When? And we made two trips to the finals by drafting. And we made one.
No, I'm talking.
We made what? Go ahead.
I'm talking about after that. We drafted Lopez. We drafted.
Lopez was
KDR,
there before D. Will trade.
No. I'm talking about we tried the collecting of the assets and.
But we didn't even put them to use because we started getting rid of everything. Now.
Yeah, because
Derek Favors.
We thought Hope was bringing us.
Now, I'm about to tear you apart. You're making my blood boil here.
This is an easy argument for you, but we had to make the move.
I just don't see why. I just don't see it.
Go ahead.
I mean, we could have went into Brooklyn with a yes. Okay, mind you, we would have been bad the first year in Brooklyn. Okay, but we would have had multiple draft picks the next draft. We would have had the Damian Lillard draft,